Hey guys, Angelo Lambropoulos, Director of Lambros Realty, and today I want to talk to you about something that's very common, right? The question of should I renovate before I sell, and what do I need to do in order to enhance my sale price? So basically, as the topic suggests, and I'll go through the real life example in a second. So an example to show exactly why you shouldn't renovate before you sell. So basically what the first thing you need to understand is this: increasing your sale price doesn't necessarily mean you'll increase your profit. Okay, so it goes without saying that when you do renovate a house, of course it's going to sell for more because it presents better. There's no two ways about it. But the key thing we're going to talk about and what you need to look at here is your return on investment and time. Now the thing you've got to understand, in a correcting property market, time works against you. So, and this is a factual example, and I'll explain the property in a second, just the result we achieved and why we said not to renovate. So this is how it stood, right? So there were two options. You sell for 1.5 now, which was a guaranteed, and there was option B, sell for 1.6 if renovated. Now, the key points you need to remember with the renovation were this: it costs on average, and this is across Australia, $67,000 to renovate a house. In this scenario, it would have cost about 80, right? Now, the other thing is when you're renovating, for every dollar you spend, you want to make $1.50 back, right? So that's the bare minimum right there. Now, it takes on average 3 months to renovate a home, right? And depending on the renovations that need to be done, look, some can be done in 2, but I think what you need to remember is the estimated time. It's not as quick as you're often quoted. There's always delays, there's always problems. So banking on an average of 3 months, that's what it takes. Now in the market, as we're seeing at the moment, the Sydney property market is averaging a 1% correction per month, right? So by the time you hit the market and you're ready to sell after your renovations, you're already 3% down at where you were at the beginning, okay? So in this scenario, let's say all things were even, okay? Which means if the renovations went ahead and it was the market was all flat, steady, there was no correction, you'd be looking at 1.6500. So if that property was renovated and ready to sell then and there, that's what it would have got. But it needed 3 months of renovations, admittedly. Okay, so the 3% drop was a result of 3 months it would have taken to prepare the property for sale, which would have left them with $1,552,000. Right, so by the time it's renovated, great house, sale price is going to be a lot better than that of the 1.5, but what we're not looking at is the return on investment, okay? So the profit, there actually wasn't any. It would have been a negative 15,000. So the property I'm talking about here was an example of one we had at 1 Bowman Place. So another agency had stated, look, 80,000, spending that 80,000, you should be able to get 1.6. Our argument was, all right, we'll just sell it for 1.5 now, and then you don't have to worry about the renovation costs. So, as it stands, we ended up selling the property for 1.6 anyway. Okay, and what I want to get at is this. Property was 1 Bowman Place, not sure if I previously mentioned that, but what I want to get at is this. In correcting markets as well, the thing you've got to understand is there are buyers looking for properties out there in which they can, they want an empty shell or nothing done. And when I say nothing done, generally speaking, it's that it needs to be neat and presentable, but you don't go overspend. Now this was a drastic scenario where, as you can see, there was no kitchen in the property. The kitchen had already been gutted. But what I'm getting at here is there are buyers out there that want to make it their own, and in due time, doing their own renovations, believe they can profit from it. So that's another thing you've got to consider. Now, I know the cynics out there are going to say, yeah, but 1.5, how can you be sure it sells for 1.5? Or, renovated properties sell, and the ones that aren't renovated take longer to sell and struggle to sell. The thing you've got to remember here is this. What you'll find, and I want you to pay close attention to this, The ones that aren't renovated, the reason they're not selling is because the price points they're looking for are similar or close to the ones that the renovated ones are set to. Now, not all the time, don't get me wrong, but people start to think, all right, well, if we're around the same ballpark, well, I'll go the renovated home. So what I'm getting at, the non-renovated homes, I think you'll find that the prices aren't realistic. That's what it comes down to. If the prices are realistic, properties will sell. So there's no two ways about it. So my advice would be, if you're thinking of renovating in order to enhance your sale value, right? Time is on your side in the sense of, we're not talking time 3 months, we're talking, 3-5 year plan when the market picks up again. Now, you will stand the advantage because obviously you've been able to utilize the costs, so you've enjoyed the renovations of, say, your bathrooms, your landscaping, and when it comes time to sell in 5 years' time, you'll have a beautifully renovated home, which is going to stand out in comparison to the rest out there. So I hope this sheds some light on why you shouldn't renovate before you sell. Okay, so it really, mathematically, there are so many risks involved and too many variables that really do work against you as a seller. Truth be told, why do agents push renovations? Well, simple. The return on investment, not so much, they don't really care about the seller of such, it's about their pocket. So what you'll find is, if a house was to sell for 1.6 versus a 1.5, they can then sit there promoting record sale. They obviously get a better commission from that, right? So, and they know when you're renovating, you've got a strong vested interest to sell. So this is where, you've really got to do your due diligence, do your checks, utilize an agent that's local, has a strong buyer database that can take people through before the renovations are done. See what feedback you're getting, see what offers you're getting, and then you can ascertain whether or not you should renovate in order to sell. And does that renovation warrant the return? So comparable properties that have been renovated, what have they sold for? And the other thing you've got to remember is buyers know what a cheap renovation is. So they're aware that if people are renovating to sell, it's going to be done on the cheap in order to get it sold. So, make sure if you've done your quality renovations, keep the paperwork to obviously prove to people just how good it actually is. But, majority of the time, what you'll find is you shouldn't renovate before you sell in a correcting property market. Angelo Lambropoulos, Director of Lambros Realty. If you have any further questions or you'd like to speak to me further or disagree with what I'm saying, by all means send me an email at info@lambrosrealty.com.au. You can call me on 0294810999, or you can visit me at our Apple Tree Shops office here on Shepherd's Drive, Cherrybrook. Happy to discuss it further, happy to answer any further questions that may not seem clear, and I hope this has served useful. Thanks for watching.